What's going on, guys? It's Matt here, back with Matt's Crypto. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday, and if you're in Bitcoin, you probably are because it's a green Monday, and the weekend wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. I really thought this weekend was going to be pretty down overall, but it stayed pretty hot on Sunday, and it's carried over today into the week. 40K on February 9th? Hell yeah. 40K on May 19th? Oh no. 40K today on June 14th? Hell yeah. It's crazy how the same price at different times can be such a different story, right? 40K on Feb 9th, things were cooking. We were coming off of the new year and we were going hard and fast. May 19th, right around when Elon tweeted about all of the FUD, all of the things about the environmental impacts of Bitcoin and mining, drops to 40K from the high of 64K, and people are like, oh God, we're freaking out. This is not supposed to happen. We didn't see this coming, didn't expect this. And now we're back again, just about a month later, 40K again, which we haven't seen in a bit. And we're happy to see 40K on this Monday. Let's hop in and see where we're at. We can see that this is the inevitable, I think, the inevitable, and the much talked about death cross. It's the two EMA lines that are going to cross potentially in the next couple days, 2 weeks, depending on what the price action is over the next couple days and weeks. But all in all, if we don't hit, I think it's around $54,000 by the end of this month, there is a strong chance that we are going to have this death cross. And you can look into all that. We're not going to go super deep on it, but basically it's when these two EMA lines cross, these moving averages, these two lines cross, one crosses over the other in the death version, not the gold version. You basically have some historic moments that happen there, and we can go back and look at those. Let's see if we can find some here. These are bad examples. We got one right here. This is the one from the last previous blow off top in 2017. This is when the death cross occurred, and you can see we were on the way down at the bear market at that point. So all I got to say here is that I don't know that this is going to be a super significant indicator that anything's going to happen from it. There's a chance that we could come really close to it and then the price will start to really move up off of it and it'll continue the bull run, or we could have the death cross and there might be a big sell-off. There might be some sell-off, maybe not big. Maybe we'll go back down to this low of $30,000, which I have this range here now set up pretty nicely between the 40,000 and 30,000 almost exactly. This is the channel in which I expect us to stay in for probably the next couple weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if we get rejected here and come back down again. But if we do break 40,000, or we've already broken 40,000, if we break $42,000, there's a chance we retest it and it becomes support and we can move upward from that moment. We'll check that out in a second, but the death cross here, I don't know. I think this has been talked about quite a bit. I put it in the thumbnail because I knew people were talking about it. People want to click on it. People want to see what's going on. It sounds ominous and it sounds really scary, but I think the bull run is still on. I believe actually one of the questions here is, do you think the bull run's still going on here? Are we in a bear market or a bull market? I still believe we're in a bull market. So this is going to be the Q&A at the end that I'll answer real quickly right now. I still think we're in a bull market. I don't think it's a bear market yet. I do think we're in a bit of a cool off phase, and I do think $30,000 to $40,000 Bitcoin for a while is probably likely. I think that's where we're going to stay, and I'm becoming quite comfortable with it because this is a long-term game. This is not going to be quick. We were going hard and fast, straight upward. I'm new to crypto. You guys are probably new to crypto as well. So this is kind of a new thing if you haven't experienced to come off of a crazy run like that. I will say once again, I'm going to keep that pi cycle top indicator on there just so we can always remember that we should have sold at the pi cycle top. We should have sold at least a little bit, even a fraction of a Bitcoin at the cycle top indicator, because it's been right every single time. Obviously, it's retrospective. It was created after the first run or two, or the first two crosses of the pi cycle, but it was right this time too, within a day of the cycle top. Maybe not the cycle top, but the local top at least. So next time that happens, we're going to be looking at it. But I keep that up there just for that sake, and then I put these new lines in here to show you guys the potential death cross. But again, I think we're going to be floating around in this range, and let's look at what everything else is going on here. The good news is the market's up. Well, this is definitely way off. There we go. I don't know why it said it was down 22% over the last day. That's a little bit wrong. Bitcoin obviously leading over the last 7 days. You can see it's now up 20% because it was getting creamed for a while there, but it is up on the day. It's up to, like I just said, $40,000. We passed it, and this is actually the highest it's been pretty much all day, I would say, which is awesome. If it does break that $42,000 mark, I can see it going up higher, and I actually can pull up some data to pass that here. We got this boy Will Clemente. He's pretty good. I've been following him for a while on Twitter if you want to check him out. Looking at the on-chain volume, if Bitcoin Bitcoin breaks above 41,000, there's nothing but air between there and 47,000. You can see right here is where we're right around right now, 39,477. And you can see there is very little distribution realized between there and, you know, once you get to 47,000, it starts to get a little higher again. But there's not, I mean, air is a bit extreme. Air is more like these gaps right in here, where there really is nothing comparatively, but there definitely is a lull in price distribution between $42,000 and $47,000. So if we do see a break of this, you know, $42,000 mark right here, this is the one day to show you guys the EMAs here. But if we can get past this $42,000 mark right around here in the next couple days, that is a chance that we really spring up towards 47,000 quickly. But again, I think that's ambitious. I think we're not out of the woods yet. I definitely think, looking at the macro here, we are definitely in this range for a bit longer. Who knows how long? I mean, obviously I want it to go up just as much as anyone else does that owns Bitcoin, but I do think it's reasonable to expect us to kind of have some struggle getting out of this resistance that we're building up pretty strongly right now. So that's where we're at with that. We can look at the global dominance, or the Bitcoin dominance versus other cryptocurrencies. It came off really hard in the last month or so, right around the beginning of April. Started coming off real hard. As soon as we hit that point of Elon tweeting right around the 17th, 18th, this is the 16th of May. You can see we bounced up a little bit and have been floating around in that range for quite a bit now. The fear and greed index, we are actually not as fearful right now as we have been in the last days and weeks. Obviously, last week, you guys could see we were down real bad here. We were right around 10. We hit 10 a couple times, 11, 10. In the late end of May, right after that big crash here, we really started to get fearful, and we still are in the fearful range on Bitcoin at least, but it's not extreme fear anymore. So for what that's worth, I do like to check this out just to kind of give you another indication of where we are compared to previous runs in history and where people were feeling like we were. Price is always different than emotion, so you got to keep that in mind. That's why I like to look at this every once in a while. We already looked at this, like I said, 41,000 to 47,000, or 42,000 to 47,000. Not a lot of distribution in there, so there's a chance that it could run pretty hard if it does hit that 42,000 and holds and goes forward. But let's look in at our trusty old stock to flow. We are just now below that darker blue band. We are kind of floating around, making a little knot, as you can see here. So I'm hoping that the darker blue band does hold like it has for the most of history, but there's a chance we do continue to kind of go sideways and work our way into that lighter blue band. But as long as we stay within these bands, I'm not worried at all. If we do for some reason start to drift really low into this lighter blue band, then I'm going to be worried that maybe we are in potentially a bear market. Don't know if that'll last for the entire rest of the cycle or not, but there's a good chance that if this is broken for arguably the first time really in history, other than, you know, some events like the March 2020 right here with this big dip, even that stayed within the dark blue band. So I think if the stock to flow model breaks significantly, then I could start to worry a little bit. But as of right now, we are fully intact on the stock to flow as well, and I do expect it to kind of rebound over the next couple of weeks and months and continue upward. I'd still think 100,000 this cycle is totally within play. If it happens this year, don't know. I think it's likely it'll happen this year still. I really do. But obviously at this point, it's a little bit less confidence than it was previously, seeing where we're at. Benjamin Cohen had a pretty good fact. The last time Bitcoin had a weekly open around $39,000, it ended a weekly close at $49,000. Will this happen again? If we go back to Will's thing here, to get from 39,000 where we were, and we're past that now, we're over 40,000. We're closing in on 41,000 right now, all the way up to 49,000, which would be the next really big, bar here. And, in comparison, it's really not as big as the support we have in the 30,000s, but, who knows? I mean, we'll see. If history repeats itself, we could see ourselves up $10,000 this week, which would be absolutely amazing and would make the whole $100,000 speculation seem a lot more realistic than it does right now. Shardy B is a big Ethereum fan, but she put out this post today, and I don't know who this article is from. Another way to look at things, why there might be certain things happening, and obviously it's not a one reason why anything's crashing or going up like crazy, but they were looking at tax days, and this year the US tax day was later than previous. Previously it was usually it's around April 15th, but this year I think they moved it back 1 year to about May 15th, 17th, which is right around the time that the Elon FUD came out, and right around the time that If you guys remember, we had this big drop down May 10th, right? And then we dropped down real hard May 19th. And these couple days in a row between 15th and 19th were really big drops, which is right around the time that you have U.S. taxes that have to be paid. So my view is yes, previous tax day cycles have hit local lows 7 days before tax day. That makes tremendous sense. That's about how long it takes to get your money out of an exchange into your bank. The Bitcoin market hit a low near $30,000 2 days after tax day. The U.S. government pushed tax day to May this year, like I just said. May 17th is when they pushed it to, I believe. And 2 days after was May 19th when we had that huge dump off, right? Only 9 days off the historical average and within a period that makes intuitive sense. And you can see all of the previous peaks, the tax days, and then the lows, and the percent changes from the peaks in previous cycles. Roughly, within that 2-week range of the tax day, you have a cycle low, not a cycle low, but you have a local low. And that's what happened again here, potentially. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. There's a chance we could go even lower than 30,000 still, and at which case this would kind of be not worth looking at anymore. But I thought this was interesting that you can, yes, it's just the US that had tax day, and that's not a huge indicator of why this could be happening. I mean, there's a lot of different things happening, right? I keep saying the Elon FUD because Elon's tweets may have sent this in motion. It was already going to happen maybe anyway, but Elon's tweets definitely didn't help it at all. But maybe this is another reason why we saw a huge decline around this time frame, and it's not that different than previous cycles. So if that makes you feel any better about us still being in a potential bull market as opposed to a bear market, something to look at. Just another thing I wanted to share with you guys because I thought it was interesting and I thought it had weight to it. There's definitely an argument to be made here. I don't think it's a huge deal because, again, it's just the US and the whole world is buying and selling Bitcoin. So how big of a deal is the US compared to everyone else? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure it had some impact at the very least. Maybe a small amount, maybe a larger amount, don't know. Thought it was interesting, wanted to share it. Another person I follow closely is my boy Bob Lucas, and he said this was yesterday. Sailors is going to push meme Bitcoin to 47 to 50K, my guess. Find resistance there and likely the next 60-day cycle top. This is where we stand in the intermediate term. And then we had someone ask about what his bear case is. Would it be a drop to the low 20s, blah, 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 blah. Bear case is a sharp drop to $20,000, followed by a very sharp rally back to $38,000, then consolidate and reaccumulate, but I think the lows are in. Him saying the lows are in, he's pretty good on the macro. This is where I like to follow Bob Lucas. He's been historically pretty good on the overall, and he has these 60-day cycle analysis that he does that I think are pretty accurate and they're pretty solid. So I like to see, what he's thinking, what his worst case scenario is, what his bear case scenario is, and he still believes, that there is a potential that 20K is in the cards still, but he does think that the lows are in, which makes me feel a little bit better about that not happening. I do, again, think that the lows are also in. I don't think we're going to see much lower than 30K. There's a chance 28K gets hit on a wick if we do come back down here, but I do believe that 30,000 is most likely going to be the low we see, at least for the time being, and who knows where we go in the future. Obviously anything's up for play, but this is just another look from another person that has been historically pretty accurate, and this is what he's thinking. So there's a chance we see that run if we get to 42K, up to 47K potentially, and find resistance there again. There's also a chance that we come back down to that range and have a big spike downward, and it'll get bought up very fast, I believe. That's the reason I'm not too worried about 20K, is because I think there's so many people that are all in or very much believers in Bitcoin that it will get bought up just as quickly as it drops, and it will almost be like it never happened. Because unless you have a limit order in, I feel like if it does go to 20K, it will get bought up like that. It'll crash hard and it'll come back up real fast because people are going to buy that up like crazy if it goes below 30K. That's my opinion. One more thing I wanted to talk about that's pretty substantial that locked in this week, the Taproot activation. Taproot is an upgrade to the core protocol that was voted on just this past couple days and approved by the global mining community. Miners will activate or signal that they are approving or disapproving of this protocol upgrade. And it needed 90% of the miners to signal that they were good to go for the approval. It hit 90%, I think 2 days ago, which means it's now going to take a place. I think it's going to happen in November. And you can see here, I'm pretty sure it's November. Yeah, see, it will take place in November. Wow, it's the first sentence. I couldn't even read it. Couldn't even get it for you guys. The major change that's happening is smart contract functionality, which is a core element of Ethereum. This is one of the reasons people love Ethereum so much. It has sparked the development of everything from DeFi to NFTs. Smart contracts are in Cardano or they're being worked on for Cardano and many other crypto. It's one thing that Bitcoin definitely needs to add, and this is going to be happening likely in November, which is awesome. One of the ways it also works is by tightly incorporating Lightning Network. If you've ever heard about Lightning Network, it is another upgrade to Bitcoin that allows for, I'll just read it, speedy parallel blockchain that can process transactions more quickly and more cheaply on the core blockchain. Fees are typically a fraction of a cent. One of the biggest arguments against Bitcoin currently is that it's too expensive to send to use as a currency day to day. Sending it to someone or paying someone for something would cost too much money on the grand scheme of things for Bitcoin to be used legitimately. It's just too high in fees. The Lightning Network aims to kind of solve that by making it faster transactions and cheaper than they currently are as it is right now. And this is part of the Taproot upgrade. So these are two really, really important things for Bitcoin as a currency and just in general as a blockchain technology that are going to kind of bring it up to speed with all these other crypto that are really taking kind of a lot of the market cap from the top 10 because they have these technological advantages that Bitcoin doesn't have yet. But this being approved is a big deal, and the fact that it's going to happen in November is also a big deal, a big catalyst for the bull run if it does continue. So you can read the whole article in there, understand what it's all about, but those are the two major changes. It is incorporating Lightning Network for faster and quicker transactions on Bitcoin, and then enabling smart contract functionality, which is like two really, really important things for Bitcoin. This really needed to happen, I think, for Bitcoin to continue to be a leader in the space. I do think Ethereum has a chance to flip Bitcoin at some point, but this is a huge, huge upgrade for Bitcoin. I had you guys ask me these on Twitter. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Matt Cabuzio. Links down below in the description. Definitely check it out if you want to follow me. What are the top 3 cheapest but most promising coins to invest in right now? I think he means low value or like, smaller market cap. I don't think he means cheap necessarily. My top 3, and again, this is not financial advice, look into these things, understand what you're buying. My top 3, I would say, that aren't Bitcoin or Ethereum. Let's just go with anything besides those. Cardano is definitely one of them, even though it's kind of a high market cap at this point. I still think it's really early on for Cardano. So our Cardano's number 1, or one of the 3. I like Chainlink a lot. I currently own no Chainlink because I sold it around $30 and was hoping it would get below 20. It didn't. It stayed right at $20. If it went any lower than 20, I would have bought. It didn't get there, so maybe it will, maybe it won't. Looking to pick up more of that at some point. I definitely think that's going to run pretty hard with the bull run if we continue. Polygon, previously known as Matic, that's the ticker. I think Polygon has got a lot to offer as well. I've been looking into a lot more. The staking rewards with Polygon right now are really great. You can also lend it on BlockFi or Celsius. I'm currently lending mine on Celsius for, I believe, a 10.5% APY. So that's really good interest. You can also stake it, and those fees those interest rates are between like sometimes 10 all the way up to 18%, depending on how many people are staking at any given moment. I will say, if you guys want to get a reward, right now Celsius has a amazing promo going on. If you want to do that, use my link down below, or use my link down below for BlockFi. You can get up to $250 of free Bitcoin when you deposit your crypto on there and start earning interest on your crypto literally today. And then the last question we have is, where is Cardano going to go? I remember you saying they're working on some projects. Cardano has a lot in the cards this year. If you really want to know fully about Cardano's upgrades and things that are happening this year, definitely watch the video I put out about Cardano hitting $10 and how that would be possible, and also what Cardano has in the roadmap. But actually, some news just came out recently that Cardano's Alonzo now runs smart contracts development upgrade reveals there is a lot happening with Alonzo, the testnet, and soon to be the mainnet later this year that enables smart contracts with Cardano, which is going to be a huge deal for it. I think it already has a ton of momentum. I think the community behind it, like I said before, is amazing. Cardano, this is why I picked it as one of the 3 coins you should buy into that's not Bitcoin or Ethereum right now. I believe in it. I think it's going to be a good project long term. So definitely check it out. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Give a big old thumbs up to the video for all of this information if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. We're now over 210 subscribers, which is amazing. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We post pretty much every single day. Haven't really hit dailies lately because it's been very hard to do that. So I'm going to try to hit like 5 videos a week if I can. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.